Okay, so today I'm going to speak about something that's very, very, very important to me. And I know this looks very interesting, but I want you guys to bear with me here, okay? I'm not going to get very analytical today or discuss numbers or metrics, but I am going to discuss something that, to me, has been something I've realized, especially in the last month while starting this channel. And that thing, it's going to sound very corny because I know that everyone else says it, but I think it's corny because of how much it's actually working and how much it can potentially grow you into becoming the person that you want to become. And this thing is something very simple, and it's called mindset. But not in the way that you think. Now look, I know that if you're watching this video, you are probably into e-com, affiliate marketing, drop shipping, TikTok shop. You probably know people like Brez Scales, Mark Builds Brands, BSM Fredo. You probably know people like Iman Gadzi, Andrew Tate. Well, everybody knows Andrew Tate. Or you probably know people like David Fogarty, Daniel Dallin, and your whole For You page on Instagram is probably just full of motivational shit of people making it and people showing off their cool lifestyle and shit like that. So I'm glad that you are into that, and I'm glad that you're watching this video. Now I want you guys to understand something. If you're into that space and you're watching this video, I think you're probably kind of a smart person. And I'm not saying that because I'm a smart person. I'm just saying that because you probably want something that a lot of people only believe is a fairy tale. And you realize and understand, and you're comparing yourself to so many people that are making this amount of money at your age, and you're going, well, how the fuck are they doing this shit? And I'm going to explain to you how they're doing this and why it's hard for you to do it. And it was very hard for me. Now, I'm not saying that I've escaped the rat race or fucking done this, and that, but I can tell you that I'm currently in that process, and I know that by the end of this year, I will achieve a lot of big fucking things. One of the things that you have to understand is that you have to dumb yourself down and lower your IQ. Hence this illustration here. The reason I say that is because people with high IQs, right? People that are very intelligent, people that analyze a lot of things, that are very logical and reasonable, tend to have the same problem. And this is something that I've experienced. I'm not saying I have a high IQ. I'm just saying that it's a very common trait. It's a very common trait for high IQ individuals to overthink things. It's actually very common for high IQ individuals to experience things like anxiety or depression, because the more you know, the less you know. And to me, this means that the more knowledge you have about something, the more questions you will ask. Hence, in order for you to start something that is actually going to work and make money, you can't ask this many questions. Because I will tell you right now, no matter what it is that you choose, right? If you choose to pursue content creation, start a social media marketing agency, do affiliate marketing, if you choose to do TikTok shop, if you choose to do Facebook ads, if you choose to do organic dropshipping, I guarantee that you will find success if you consistently keep doing it. But the problem becomes when you try something and it doesn't work for 2, 3, 4 weeks, months, and then you try something new because you think it's been completely saturated. And let me tell you right now, this is a high IQ thing to think. Because when you have a high IQ, and there are studies, and I'm just quoting at the top of my head, I know I've seen this somewhere. It's probably a fucking Instagram reel, right? No. I know I talked to my mom about this back when I was living with her. And it's that high IQ individuals tend to think about things so logically and so analytically that they want all the knowledge before they even start. I want you to think about, why are there so many young 20-year-old, 21, 22, 18, 16-year-old entrepreneurs that are making money online that are probably not as smart as you? They're fucking retarded. That's straight up. You see their content. They are not intelligent people. But the reason that they're making more money is because they started before they knew how. They started something and consistently, delusionally kept going, knowing in the back of their heads that it could take off. Now, somebody with a high IQ is going to have problems doing something that's very repetitive and not gaining any result for them. There's a reason why high IQ individuals have problems doing very repetitive, consistent tasks. And it's because they have an issue with doing something and not gaining results back. Because logically speaking, if you're doing something and it does not work, why would you keep doing it? As opposed to someone who, I guess, is a little bit less smart, a little bit more retarded, goes, well, you know what? I'm not going to think logically, and I'm just going to keep doing it because I know that at some point it's going to work. It's very, 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 very delusional. But I think it's a mindset that's very important, that you have to dumb yourself down in order to achieve what it else that you want. Hence, this is why I think that if you become more retarded, you will make more money. This connects very well with something else. And this other thing that I want to speak about is this little tiny thing called shiny object syndrome. Okay. So, shiny object syndrome is this thing that has been plaguing the world, which is very prominent in the e-com space, in the online money space, and it's essentially just moving from thing to thing because you see something new, something trending that is working more than the previous thing. And you constantly bounce from object to object. You constantly bounce from strategy to strategy. You go from doing affiliate marketing, that doesn't work, and then you try something else, and then you try something else, and for some reason, it seems like you never, ever achieve anything. If you become more retarded, if you lower your IQ, this is something, right, that I think a high IQ individual would do. They try different things, and they gather all this knowledge before they learn, before they start doing it, right? They have to be very analytical. They have to study exactly how it's working, prove that it's working for them. But how can you prove something's working? By learning all this shit, doing all this research, if you don't just start. And that's the difference between all these people, is that the people that are dumber literally just start before they have any single fucking clue. And the smart people, well, they're going to gather all the data possible. They're going to gather all the information and make a conclusion and assume that this thing is probably going to work rather than not. But the dumber person seems to make more money by simply just staying consistent in something that they believe, have faith that it will work, as opposed to somebody who is logically analyzing everything. Shiny object syndrome is something that affected me for a very, 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 very long time. I've tried doing affiliate marketing. I've tried doing TikTok shorts, YouTube shorts. I tried doing this. I tried a social media marketing agency for a week and it didn't work. And I tried doing organic dropshipping and then I got back on organic dropshipping. And then I tried doing POD. I tried doing Etsy dropshipping. And that worked, by the way. I'll tell you more about that in another video. But that worked. I just got banned. I tried that. I tried this. Content creation is also something that I tried. I tried doing music. I tried being a beat maker. I made money doing beats, but I stopped. I stopped being consistent. That's it. The reason I stopped being consistent is because I thought there would be a better opportunity if I stopped this one and tried something new. But if I try something new, then I'm back at square zero. Shiny object syndrome is something that you have to completely avoid. You have to pick one thing only, and continue doing that thing, at least for 1 or 2 months. And then if it doesn't get a single fucking result, nothing, you don't learn anything, then you can move on. But a more dumb person, someone who dumbs themselves down, is more likely to continue being consistent at that one thing because they're delusional, because they're stupid, because they don't know any better than to continue doing that. A smart person, a person with a high IQ, is probably going to stop doing that thing after 1 week because of how repetitive and inconsistent the result was. You have to become absolutely fucking delusional when it comes to this shit. There are various ways of becoming and obsessing over that delusion. One of those things that you can do, and this is something that I did, is you have to build your character archetype. So this here is something that I say very often. So Batman is pretty much my favorite superhero. I have a Batman mask right here behind me. I don't know if you guys can see it, probably not. But I built my character archetype around Batman. I'm so delusional into believing in my redemption arc, right? Proving myself to the world. For me, not for other people. For me, because I know that I can do it. That I built a character archetype, and I believe firmly that I am in a movie, so that I can fulfill my destiny. That's a very high delusion of mine. I left my hometown 10 months ago. And I remember when I left, I was making a good living, guys. I did not have a job, but I was doing content full time, filming for influencers and doing cinematography, videography for people, right? I did not have any fucking bills. I was living with my parents. It was pretty safe to be over there. And when I told everybody that I was leaving to go get a job somewhere completely fucking remote where I knew nobody, they told me I was a fucking idiot. They asked me, why? You could do what you want to do here. But there was something in my mind, something so fucking delusional, that said I need to leave, go on my Batman arc, train, go to the gym, work on online business, do this, because it's necessary, because it's a risk, because it's a story. Now, if I'm not going to say I'm smart or dumb, but if I had a very high IQ, I would probably stay in my hometown, because logically speaking, that will probably garnish the best results for me. But I took a really big fucking leap of faith, and I went 1,500 miles away so that I could focus on nothing but this 24/7. You have to be so obsessed with this idea that no matter what you do, you shape it around this idea. And your character is based on that obsession. Your character is based around that idea. Whatever it is that you want to achieve. For me, I know what it is. For you, it may be something different. Now, over the past couple of months, I've started to believe in something very interesting. I've started to believe in a little something called frequencies. Okay. So, I've started to believe that the reason there are very ignorant and idiotic people making a lot of money is not based on their IQ. It's not based on their intelligence. It's not based on even possibly their work ethic. It's based on one thing, and it's the frequency of their mind. A lot of high IQ individuals have a lot of self-doubt. They have a lot of questions, which is why they don't start until they have all these answers. But you have to understand that it's not about how smart you are. It's about the frequency that you are aligned with the universe. That's it. That's the way to win. If you can align your frequencies and I know this sounds fucking crazy, you need to align the frequencies of the world to shape around exactly what it is that you want. And instead of trying to achieve what you want, right, in the future, speaking of it in the future sense, you have to speak about it in the present tense. You have to bring that future all the way down to the present. Instead of always trying to chase, you have to attract it. And the way to do this is to, I think, in my opinion, first off, become obsessed. I think obsession with your goal, at first you may seem fucking crazy. People will call you an idiot. People will say that you're a narcissist. People will say all kinds of shit about it. But if you actually genuinely keep believing in this delusion, eventually the frequencies of the universe will align themselves in a way that it starts becoming true. Now, there is a documentary that I watch here about 1 week into being into this apartment. And we had pretty much no furniture. We had nothing to our fucking name. I think we had like maybe a couple of chairs. We sat down and we had found a TV in the garbage. We plugged it in and it worked. We watched this documentary called The Secret. Now, I would highly recommend everybody to watch this documentary. It's a little bit overproduced, I will say that. But the main message of this entire documentary is that there is one single secret to achieving anything and everything that you want. And the secret is called the law of attraction. Now, the law of attraction is pretty much the law that you attract what you think, right? If you are constantly obsessed with an idea and you think of yourself in the present tense that you are living this life, you're living this obsession, you are living this delusion, and actually manifest this shit, do it right? I'm talking believe that that is who you are, not who you're gonna be, but who you are right now. Then things will literally align themselves to prove to the universe that that's who you are. I'm not fucking kidding, guys. This is not some fucking bullshit. This is some real fucking shit. I was doing nothing right, until I started actually applying this to my fucking life. As soon as I genuinely locked in and obsessed with this idea of freedom, this idea of making the ads work, this idea of doing dropshipping right, as soon as I actually locked in and believed that that's who I was, that there is nothing else out there for me besides this fucking idea, things started working. And things are working even more now. Because, guys, okay, my drawings are very, very fucking shit. But I know you guys have heard of something called the downward spiral. One thing goes wrong, the next thing goes wrong, and then it causes this thing to go wrong, and it causes all this chain reactions, and then boom, it's a downward spiral. And it's something very interesting because people talk about downward spirals as if, it's a very common thing for a lot of things to go wrong at the same time. And it's very interesting why that happens. But people don't speak about the opposite, which is, what's the opposite of downward, guys, right? An upward spiral. There is such thing as having one thing go right, causing another thing to go right, which causes this to go right, and all these things go right at the same time. And I genuinely believe that the law of attraction and manifesting is one of the primary causes, right? It's the singularity for all these upward spirals to start happening. Now, do I still have negative thoughts? Yes, of course, I do have negative thoughts. But I use all these negative thoughts, this negative energy, to put myself in a position where I can shape those thoughts into attracting that obsession, if that makes sense. I put myself in a position where every single doubt, every single negative thought that I have is something that drives me forward in order to stop thinking those things. Because I promise you, the universe will show you. It will try to allow you to prove yourself that this is actually the life you want to live. And if you do all these things and become obsessed and delusional, the universe will bring out obstacles and it will show you a little bit of that life before you actually achieve it. And if you are exactly who you say you are, then this upward spiral will begin. But if you're not ready yet, then it just seems like you can't progress. For no matter how hard you fucking try, you cannot progress. And I genuinely think it's because you are not believing that you are actually that person yet. You're believing that you want to be that person, that you're gonna be that person. You have to bring that future back to the present. I genuinely believe that that's how you fucking win at life. And look, I'm not no fucking guru, alright? I'm just a regular fucking person. I have 90 subscribers right now at the moment that I'm making this video. Guys, 2 days ago, I had 16 subscribers. I'm telling you, this shit is getting crazy. And I know it's not much. I'm not here to sell anything. I'm here to say that I'm just a regular fucking person who obsessed with an idea so much that it started working, and I am just here to show my journey. Why? I don't know. And you don't have to know. All you have to do is change your frequency and become a little bit more retarded. That's it.